After using all 15 snipers on Modern Warfare 3, I have found the top 7 snipers to use. Each sniper will have at least 2 different class setups to use for both respawn and search and destroy. After I give you guys the top 7 list, I'll give honorable mentions to the other snipers with class setups. This will be my final class setup video on Modern Warfare 3, so drop a like and add this to your playlist if you ever come back to Modern Warfare 3 again or want to share this with a friend. So, let's get started. Alright, so at the number 7 spot, we got the MCPR. I generally think that this sniper is great for both respawn and in S&D. I feel like a lot of keyboard and mouse players love to use this weapon, and for controllers, it's a smooth weapon as well. But for the attachments, these are the 5 attachments you want to use, at least for respawn. This MCPR packs a punch and it has 10 bullets that you can use. So very minimally, you only really think about reloading with this weapon probably once every life, if I'm going to be honest with you. And by all means, if you don't like the SPX scope, if you like the regular scope, you can take this out and you can put on a rear grip, the Cronin Cheetah grip. That can increase your expensive fire speed. Or if you want to go a little ballsy and you're playing S&D, then by all means rock the 5-round mag. This is great for S&D as well. And you don't need an ammunition round to be able to get collaterals with this weapon. So realistically, you're only changing 2 attachments for this sniper, going back to respawn or S&D. And then for the perks of this weapon, you can use compression carrier, marksman glove, tac pads, and AOD padding. This is pretty much what I use for most of my snipers. If you want to switch it up and use ninja vest for like S&D, by all means you can do that as well. And coming in with the number 6 spot, we got the SPX. This is another Modern Warfare 2 sniper. These are the 5 attachments I would personally recommend for respawn. You don't need an ammunition or the armor piercing round for this one. I personally like the 8-round mag, but I know some people would want to maximize that ADS speed. So if you're playing search, put on the rear grip, the Schlager match grip. This will increase your ADS speed by 2%. And hey, by all means, if you don't like the scope, you can take out the rear grip and put on the Lackman Impact 9 scope. I know a lot of people like to use this as well. So if you show it off in firing range, the aim is actually a lot stronger with the Lackman Impact 9 scope. And the ADS speed is very, very efficient. But at least for the first 4 attachments, you'll always need is the Bryson Factor Barrel, the Razor Hawk, the PVZ Tax, and the FSS Bolt. And then for the rest of the class, this is pretty much what I use, very similar to the MCPR. Compression carry is just really great when it comes to playing like 12v12 or 10v10. And then Ninja Vest for S&D. Now for the number 5 spot, we got the Carrack AK. This thing was actually very overpowered on controller with the rotational aim assist, but now it's like a heavy hitting because rotational aim assist is not there anymore, but it's still a fun sniper to use. And listen, I know it's a marksman rifle, but let's be real, it's been called a sniper in like World War II, Vanguard. So we know this is a sniper, realistically speaking. And for these attachments, these are the best attachments to use. In my opinion, I think it's great for both S&D and respawn. And most importantly, you really need the mono rounds. This will allow you to get collaterals with the Carrack AK. The only thing I would probably change is the optic. I know they changed the scope of this as a recent season. Before, if you had no stock, it would pretty much be very zoomed out. Without no stock, this would be zoomed in very much in. So now they kind of kept it in the middle and allowed you to have a better range between long and short. So when you reload with any 6x scope magnification and above, it's going to put 1 bullet in the chamber. If you get something that's below a 6x, like the Choreo Eagle's Eye, when you shoot and then you reload, it puts all 5 bullets in. So take a look here, 3 bullets, and then immediately you have 5. And the next thing you need on the Carrack AK is the mag holster. Without this, you will not be able to reload very quickly. So that is a very, very important attachment, especially if you reload with all 5 bullets or just 1 at a time. I'm rocking engineer's vest just because in 10v10 or 12v12, you get naded a lot, so you need EOD padding, and you definitely want to have 4 perks. And if you're playing search and destroy, by all means, take off engineer and put on ninja, and then try your best to eat the nades. Now coming at the 4th spot, we have the Longbow. This thing, in my opinion, when the rotational aim assist was still part of the Longbow, it was by far the most overpowered sniper across Call of Duty history. This thing has 20 bullets, and with how fast you can ADS and shoot, it was hands down very broken. But for the 5 attachments that you're going to need on this Longbow is you're going to need the Jack Tyrant 762 kit to allow you to have maximum damage. You can still multi with this thing. And then for the rest, this is pretty much what I would prefer using as far as like ADS speed. I know some people like to use the mod suppressor. If you want to just not be a part of the radar, you could do that. Me personally, I don't really care too much about suppressor, so I like the ADS speed increase. So I'm the guy that prefers the DR6 hand stop. Me personally, I would not recommend using this for S&D because this thing is technically a hit marker machine. You need to aim high with it. And from the clips that you guys are seeing on screen, you need to aim at body level at all times. So line up the crosshairs correctly, and a one shot with this sniper will not be a problem. And the other thing you could also change is the optic scope for the Longbow. So if you want to rock something like a thermal, it's a Teplo OP3 scope. But by far one of my favorite thermals on these snipers in this game. I've seen people use MCPR scope. I've used that as well. For the rest of this class, I think compression carrier is just the move. You're able to run around and just be very aggressive with a sniper. I don't know why I have stuns on, but... And you probably noticed I've been using soul render as my secondary weapon just because you can at least counter the riot shielders when you face against them in 10v10 or even in an S&D, really. And by all means, if you want to improve, literally stick to the sniper. Don't be whipping out your pistol. Trust me. We got number 5 spot. We got the XRK Stalker. This class, let me tell you, man, very underrated. I love using this thing. It is the 10-round mag XRK Stalker. I know the ADS is going to be a little bit slow, but trust me when I say this, you want to be able to pre-aim just a little bit more often. I'll show a clip on the screen here. This is what it's like to use all 5 attachments that I personally like using. But if you want to maximize that ADS speed, you can tweak this sniper to however you want, because you can make it faster than what it looks like right now. So now going back again, this is the class to use. You definitely need armor piercing to be able to get collaterals. Now, if you are playing S&D, you can still use the laser. If you don't like showing off the laser, you can take that out, put the no stock on, and this ADS will be increased by quite a bit. Now, if you want the absolute fastest ADS, you can put on the Razorhawk laser light, and this will get you light speed ADS time, and it just feels a lot better. But if you're able to tweak it and adapt to the 10 round, you can hit crazy clips. You won't even need to reload more than half the time, and you don't even need an extra sniper like an overkill class. So when I use this weapon, I pretty much like try to pre-aim or stand by scope most of the time, and a lot of the times opponents are not able to kill me. So you got to be able to know how to use that sniper. Now for the rest of the XRK class, compression carrier, same thing as a longbow, tac pads, it just ADS faster. So that even helps out with your 10 round mag even better, because if you look here, it says increased slide velocity and allows for aiming down sights while sliding. So it's much smoother. Now the second to last class, this is the MCPR. Everyone loves this sniper. I mean, low-key, it's kind of broken. But for the 5 best attachments, I would not recommend the OP980 grip. If you want a guaranteed one-shot, put on the anti-material slug round. And if you're playing in the competitive scene, you can try out the skeletal vertical grip, which helps out with your ADS and sprint to fire speed by 4 and 6%. But if you don't like the grip and you're just like me, where it feels absolutely off and doesn't feel right to have it on there, you can rock the counter 6 grip to increase the flinch resistance, or the OP980 grip. Just keep in mind the flinch resistance is insane when you're playing pubs, so you definitely need the marksman gloves for this MCPR. Or if you want to rock anti-material slug round, that's what I would do as well. So those are the 3 attachments I would pretty much go back and forth with. The rest is just increase your ADS speed. The conversion kit, however, if you want to make this into a shotgun, by all means go for it, but the whole point of this video is to have a sniper class setup. Now for the rest of this class setup, we got infantry vest. Got to increase that tac sprint duration and reduce the fresh time. The other thing you need on the MCPR is the mag holster, because you reload every single bullet every time you shoot. Without this, you're going to be reloading pretty slow, so you definitely need that mag holster to stack on top of the quick bolt. The next perk you're going to need with the MCPR is the all-terrain boots. If you can somehow get away with the tac sprint glitch, I wouldn't really call it a glitch because they added it on purpose. If you want to rock covert sneakers, you can. But for controller players, I don't know how to do it on keyboard and mouse. I'm pretty sure there is a way to counter it. But turn your automatic tac sprint back down to automatic sprint. This will allow you to not tac sprint all the time and mess you up. Me personally, I love my tac sprint. I'm just too stubborn to adapt, so I prefer to use all-terrain boots and then have my melee just to be able to run to the spawn, or just, you know, run to a certain point on the map as fast as possible. You can do the same thing with a soul render, but I think combat knife, you can technically run slightly faster. As you can see, the mobility is decreased by a little bit there. Now for the final sniper, you're gonna hate me for this. I know it's not a sniper, but technically they added this conversion kit to have it used in the same manner of a sniper, and it is by far the most broken sniper in this game, or broken gun. This is the RPK. This is a Modern Warfare 2 sniper. Take a look at these attachments. This thing packs a punch. I mean, without this conversion kit, you're not able to one-shot, so you definitely need this conversion kit. This will allow the damage to be, holy moly, out by like 300+%. It's kind of crazy. But the other 3 most important attachments for this sniper is to have the Razorhawk broadside and the True Tac to be able to maximize the ADS speed, which is most definitely you need. And for the optic, you can pretty much switch it to whatever you feel comfortable with. I see people using the HMW20 optic. I feel like that's very useful to use. X10 and Atlas is fire as well. Coral Eagle's Eye, very fire. Teplo OP3, absolutely love that. I think any of those 4 attachments for the optic is definitely worth using for the RPK. And then for the rest of the classes, pretty much my primary like vest and perks to use. All right, coming in at the bonus round, we got the extra snipers that are laying around that you guys are probably here for if you want to like switch it up, you know, have some variety on the sniping clips. We're gonna go over the remains, which is the Katt AMR, the KV inhibitor, Signal 50, Victus, Carrack, LAB, and the SPR. Honestly, in my opinion, I think these are the bottom tier snipers. Katt AMR, in my opinion, is the top tier of the bottom tier snipers. So we're going to cover this real quick. The attachments you want to be using are these 5 attachments. Now, if you're playing S&D, you can swap out the 7-round mag, and you can put on a barrel to increase that ADS speed. Or you can put on a scope, which is like the SPX scope with the Lachman Impact 9. Early in the year, a lot of us were using either of these 2 scopes since we didn't really like much of the regular scope of the Katt AMR. But again, if you're playing respawn, 7-round mag without it, then take it off and put on the scope or barrel. Now, moving on to the KV inhibitor. This was by far one of my favorite snipers to use because this thing was like pushing overpowered. I mean, it had pretty good damage. You're able to spray with it, and the ADS speed was absolutely phenomenal. Now, to increase your ADS speed, you're going to use these 5 attachments here. If you want to slap on the 20-round mag and get a little ballsy, Razorhawk Laser Light and put on the 20-round mag for respawn. If you don't like that, you know, you can put on the optic and put on whatever you like between these 12 scopes that I have favorited here. So you can just make minor adjustments for respawn or S&D, but in my opinion, I think this gun is great for respawn. 20-round magazine, you honestly won't ever have to reload. Now, as far as this class, don't even worry about it because I just had the overkill class, so that way I don't have to go over building the sniper and doing it all over again. So up next, we have the intervention, but it is unfortunately not a top 7 sniper due to the fact that the rechamber speed is not as fast enough. Now, if you want to get the intervention with the original MW2 sound, it is called Back in Action. You can find it in the shop just by going over to the next tab, available blueprints, and it should appear there. If it's not there, then sorry, but this is the attachment for the fastest ADS. Most would consider this probably the best S&D class for the intervention. Now, if you want to take out the field wrap handle and put on the FJX Lux, this will just increase your mobility. This is good as well. Now, if you're playing respawn, you can take out the stock and you can put on the 7-round mag. If you like the regular scope, you can by all means take out the SPX scope and either put on the field wrap handle or take that out and put on the FJX Lux. To be honest, the ADS increase being 2% isn't that much of a difference, but regardless, I would just go back and forth between the optic, stock, and the carry handle to whatever that may float your boat. Now, before I jump into the Signal 50 and the Victus XMR, this is the 115 camo that if you pre-order BO6, you get this exclusive camo. I totally forgot I had it, to be honest with you. But anyways, Signal 50, we got the Razorhawk Laser Light, the Soman's Line stock, the Finesse Grip, 7-round mag, and the DR6 hand stop. I personally don't like the scope of this, so if I were to take out anything here, it would be the SoaR inline stock and swap it out with the SPX scope. In my opinion, this is my favorite thing to use on the Signal 50. I know it is slow, but you just gotta like pretty much pre-aim with it. Again, it is a bottom tier sniper for a reason, and if you want to swap out the 7-round mag for the SoaR inline stock for S&D, you could do that as well. Now, moving on to the Victus. This thing is a hit marking machine, but this thing is actually pretty nice. I mean, maybe it's the camo that is totally distracting me right now because I'm very intrigued by it. But the ADS speed for the 9-round mag, this is kind of what it looks like. It's not too bad. You can obviously like swap it out with one of the other attachment barrels, or you can put on the armor piercing round to be able to get some collaterals. I haven't checked if they like changed that, so but yeah, if you're playing S&D, this is the 5 attachments. Take out the barrel, put on the 9-round mag for respawn. That's simple. Same thing for this class. You don't even need to pay attention too much about the perks or the vests and stuff like that. By all means, adjust to whatever you think is right. And then now we got the Carrack and the LAB. This is not really in order besides maybe the Katt, but the Carrack, on the other hand, this is the attachments you want to be using. I was able to one-shot with this thing, but it's not as consistent as you think. You pretty much have to aim at literal chest level, like upper chest. There's a reason why I said that twice. If you don't like the suppressor, you can take this out, but I definitely would not recommend this for S&D whatsoever. I mean, genuinely, it really sucks. You can take out the stock and just put on the engage grip if you want to have that increase on the sprint to fire speed here. I mean, that damage range is not all the best, but I can guarantee you might have fun with this if you're just messing around. Anyways, moving on to the next sniper, the final sniper before the marksman rifle, which is this thing looks like the SPR straight up. 5 attachments you should be using for respawn. If you want to take out the 8-round mag for some S&D, you can, and just put on the stock. Just put on the T70 pad extension stock, and voila. If you don't like the scope, you can change it, but I think the scope is just fine. This thing is more of like a sit back, heavy hitting type of sniper that plays more on the passive side. So by all means, if you want to take out the laser, put on, I don't know, man, armor piercing and get some collaterals, or maybe like one out of different scopes. Realistically, like this thing is only good for if you're just down bad and you don't even know what other sniper to use and you're absolutely clueless, or you're trying to have some fillers, right? So that's what I would use for the LAB. Same thing rule applies for this class as well. Don't pay too much about the perks that are with the vest. And now finally we have the SPR. Now, before I jump into the SPR, I'm just to let you know that you can one-shot with this marksman rifle. It's not as easy as it looks, but they buffed it and then they nerfed it a little bit, and now here we are. We're just rocking out with whatever we got. But these are literally the 5 attachments you should be using for respawn. I definitely would not recommend this for SND at all. But if you want to get ballsy, again, just take out the 10-round mag and put on, you know, some high-grain rounds or armor piercing and find out for yourself. Or maybe put on some extra ADS speed. That pretty much wraps up everything, guys. This is the final class setup for Modern Warfare 3. I will not be covering any more class setups on this game. There might be some extra classes laying around in the MW3 videos that I was just messing around with, but to give you guys the absolute best from throughout the year, what I was researching and testing out, these are the best class. So once again, give me the thumbs up, drop a like thing, you know the deal, man. And I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be the best of Modern Warfare 3.